Hi students, I welcome you all these online classes. Today we will start to study our 8th class social science. Are you ready to be with me? Okay. Let us start the history part. The name of that first unit is Our Past. In this unit 12 lessons are there. The name of the first lesson is When, Where and How. Before starting this lesson, I like to ask you one question. What is history? Already you had studied this in previous year. History means the study of the past. Isn't it? All of us have a curiosity to learn about our past. We want to know how our ancestors lived, survived, and how their society evolved to the modern life. In this chapter, we shall study about the general outline of what history is all about. So, children, in this lesson, we must go through 5 points. See here, it is given as learning objectives. First, introduction, then periodization of history, then source of study, modern history. Fourth point, literary sources. In that, three sub points are there: official records, indigenous literary sources, then other sources. Last, conclusion. Now we will see the introduction. Children, this history, it is like a story only. I know you all know many stories. When you were small, your grandparents or your own parents may have told you many stories. Stories from holy books or their own life experiences. They all start like this: once upon a time. Then they will tell about some persons and the heroic actions. If we want to know the history, we must understand the events that happened in the past in their chronological order. What is this, the chronological order? In order time from the earliest to the latest, or from beginning onwards. Now we are living in this modern age. We have modern facilities, see big buildings, and we will come to know what happened in this world within few seconds. In short, we can say our world is a global village. But children, think about the olden times. There were no planes, communication facilities, and even language also was an obstacle for them. So it was difficult to convey news and happenings from one place to another place. Usually, after a long time, this news and incidents reached to another place. This is the reason some places develop fast and some places develop slowly. So, children, if you wanted to know the evolution of the societies in this whole world or part of the world, it is very important to understand them in the realm of how, when, and where. That means the time, place, and the events and incidents also we have to study. Hello, children, most of you think that history is a boring subject. Isn't it correct, no? Because we have to remember dates and incidents, and also it has no importance or it is not connected to our present life. So you don't like to study history. But children, is it really unimportant? Just think about big festivals and birthdays. You like to remember and celebrate them. But another thing is that to remember all the events and dates, it is difficult. Isn't it, children? And also, all the dates and events are not important. Some are important. That we must remember. In history, also, some dates are important. What are historical dates, children? Some important events happened in the past, and that we must understand and study in their chronological order. So, here dates are important. So, historical dates that related to major events are important because these events shape the growth of our society and nations. Example, if we wanted to know our freedom struggle, it is important to know the main events and when it happened, that is dates. Now, children, what is the importance of this how and where? I'll tell you. See, children, you like to remember when you were too small, what you did, who were your friends, and the trips and the enjoyments in your life. Same way, it is natural for human beings to know how was the life in olden times, where do they live, and now where we are standing or where we are today. This helps us to realize or understand how precious it is to preserve our history and help to develop it. Now we will move to the second point, periodization of history. That is the process of categorizing history into named periods. Millions of years ago, our earth came into existence. Historians collected the incidents and informations and wrote the history. It can be written for thousands and thousands of years. If this history is not divided, it is difficult to study. So understand it easily. It is divided into small parts like different lessons in a book. But one thing is that different countries have divided their various ages into periods according to their own timelines. Here some examples are there. In Europe, modern period starts on 15th century, whereas in India it is 18th century. This modern period in India starts 18th century. Why? Then in India, Mughal power declined and Europeans arrived. In 6th class, we had studied that the study of history is divided into 3 periods. Are you remembering, children? Okay, I will tell you that 3 periods: ancient, medieval and modern. There is no exact starting and ending points for these periods, but have a gradual ending and changing pattern is there. In these periods, there were no immediate or instant growth in social systems, but it was slow and gradual. Children, we know that, isn't it? Changes occurs very slowly only, but each period has its own way of growth in the field of technology, culture, religion, society, politics, science, etc. More than that, some historians even subdivided these 3 periods according to the major impact on the social, cultural, political and economic life of the people. Children, in this book we will study modern history of India. Now we will come to the next point. Where is it, children? Or what is it, children? The source to study modern history. Here we will study the literary sources. In literary sources, we could find official records, indigenous literary sources and other sources. The most valuable information about our past is in our literary sources only. Literary sources include official records, that is kings and leaders appoint some persons to record what all things happened in their time. Next, travelers' note. Some are interested to go distant places to study the people, place, animals and nature, and they have noted. Next, manuscripts or handwritten and newspaper clippings. Through all these sources, we will get plenty of informations. But here also some loophole will be. Some of the people will record or narrate the incidents according to their own imaginations. Sometimes there will be a difference. So the historians again classify these literary sources as official in nature or indigenous in origin. Indigenous means relating to the native people, language, culture, etc. Now we will study what is official records. We have seen already that the main literary source is official records only. Official records are the purpose of government agencies at different levels, that is national, state, district, etc. When India was under the rule of Britishers felt that all the records should keep in a safe place. So they started record rooms. These official records include all the levels of administration from low level to top level. Britishers conducted many surveys on Indian plants, animals, topography, What is this topography, children? Detailed description about a place, forest, archaeology. Archaeology means the study of the past. They even conducted census and studied the geographical state. Children, do you know how these works helped them? The means the Britishers, they could make railways and also exploit our valuable mineral wealth. They had carried away all the valuable things and exploit our mineral wealth. Again, we can find records of 17th and 18th century from Portuguese, Dutch and French companies. Children, now we will move to indigenous literary sources. Many Indian scholars, authors, historians also had written down some events that happened in their time. Again, abundance of or so much sources we could get from the newspapers, magazines, chronicles, letters, books, pamphlets, autobiographies, or speeches of those times. Later, audios and videos started. Again, when we enter into 18th and 19th century, memories, biographies, and travel accounts give us useful information about that centuries. So we can see gradual development in source materials, that is from pamphlets to audio videos. Now the last source is other sources, that is historical buildings and structures. That also a strong proof to know what happened in this period. We can take Delhi as an example. Now Delhi is the capital of India. Earlier the Mughals were the rulers and from them the Britishers seized the power. Again power came back to the hands of Indian people. Otherwise we can say India became independent. Earlier Delhi was not an advanced city, but now there are huge buildings like the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the Secretariat and the Parliament also. Then large monuments means a structure built for symbolic reason or as a memorial. So monuments like India Gate, these all give a clear evidence that changes happen from one stage to another. Another example, we can take Calcutta. Earlier it was a village called Calcutta. Later lot of changes happened here. Huge buildings like Victoria Memorial and Fort William are worthy to visit. There the people's lifestyle changed. Britishers, they brought changes there. Some more changes we can see, that is the bridge over river Hooghly, the famous trams of Calcutta and railways. These all show the growth of technology. Now children, what is the conclusion of this lesson? We were studying our modern history. We also saw there are many sources that give information to study our past, but we cannot fully rely on these written records. These are individual interpretations or individual assessments will be there. Not in all the records, but some of them have. So one has to be careful to take balanced view or to study how things happened in the past. Children, today this is enough for you. Read this lesson many times, children. Find out one word answers and write it in your book and study. Okay? We will meet in the next class.